Greetings and welcome back to the Galley of the Sun. So you saw the intro, you saw the title. We're doing some Aussie beef kebabs today. Now, to be ready for today, we had to do some work last night making an incredible marinade. Let's take a look. All right, here we are on Kebab Eve. We got a few things to do. So, first of all, I got myself a big old bowl here. Now, down in the description section, in the instructions, I talked about making this and then pouring it into a Ziploc bag. But since I got 7 pounds of chuck here and at least 4 cups of liquid, I'm thinking I'm just going to do it in the bowl and sit that in the fridge. One minor modification, if you're using a more reasonable amount of meat, you can ratio all of the ingredients for the marinade and then use a Ziploc bag if you want. That's what I prefer to use, but I just don't think it's going to fit. Okay. First thing we're going to do is chop up some mint. I need about a 1/4 cup. I'm going to rough chop it. I'm not going to knock over my bourbon because that's important. And I'm not going to worry about any stems or stuff like that. Just keep chopping until I get a 1/4 cup, chuck it in there, because we're going to separate all the solids out tomorrow when we're ready to make these. So I got my fresh mint. And just give it a rough chop. That looks like a 1/4 cup. Chuck it in the bowl. Now I need a 1/4 cup of fresh oregano. You can use dried if you want to. And if you can, if you're going to use dried, for this recipe, use Greek. No need to pull off all the leaves and everything and mess with those stems, sort of a pain in the butt. Just a rough chop and get it in there. Now, I know I don't have a Galley of the Sun shirt on today. I got a hot dinner date, so I got limited time to get this done before it's time to head out. Next thing I'm going to do is about 2 teaspoons of crushed peppercorns. Got my peppercorns here. That's about 2 teaspoons. Give them a little grind. Looking good. Into the bowl. Now, I've got my garlic. Going to squish them all so I can get the skins off. Now chop off that little hard root end. And then I'm going to chuck them into my magic Mexican lava bowl. Now I'm going to grind those into a paste. And when you either get a paste or you get tired of mashing it, just chuck it in the bowl. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of coarse sea salt. Those are all of our dry constituents. Now for the liquid. 1 cup of extra virgin olive oil. And then 3 cups of a dry red wine. If you can find an Australian Shiraz, then that is more authentic. But, you know, this is from Walla Walla, which if you have a globe that's inflatable and you squish it, then Walla Walla is very close to Australia. Yeah. I know you wine drinkers are cringing at my pouring skills. Into the bowl. Mix it all together. I'll make sure to get all that salt dissolved. Okay. Now we get the chuck. Ha! And I just discovered my chuck is a bunch of thinly cut steaks. Oh, that's okay. It was in the freezer. I wanted to use it up. So I'm just going to cut these in 1 inch by 1 inch squares, make them kebab friendly. These are going to be strange looking kebabs, but it's going to taste amazing. And actually this is going to give more surface area for that. This would have been great carne asada. It's going to get great surface area for that marinade to penetrate. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Cutting these in 1 inch squares, chucking them in the bowl, putting wrap over it, into the fridge overnight. Tomorrow, we'll be making the kebabs. We'll see you then. So here on Kebab Day, we have some prep to do. First of all, I've pulled that beef with the marinade out of the refrigerator, and it smells absolutely amazing. I'm going to take this, I'm going to dump it through a strainer into a bowl so we save all that liquid. We're going to use that for basting sauce. And then we'll have the meat and the solids there. We will pick the meat out, discard the solids, and then start assembling kebabs. So, I've also prepped some sweet onions, some yellow bell peppers, and some red bell peppers. We'll chop those up into kebab-friendly sizes and thread those on also. You notice we don't have green? Green peppers don't agree with the director's belly. Oh no, we don't want none of that. So, also, I've taken a jar of Kalamata olives and I have deftly stuck them onto a skewer. So I got about 96 halves here, which is 48 olives, like the recipe says down there. Again, if you're using a smaller piece of meat, you can ratio all of this stuff. So I'm going to get to work on that. We'll be back after my kebabs are assembled and we're ready to do the next step. All right, I've got all my skewers together. Do not underestimate how long that freaking takes. It fools me every time. So I'm going to set those aside. I have the liquid from the marinade that we reserved when we poured our beef through a strainer. That's going to go into a saucepan. This saucepan. You can use yours. I'm going to put that on medium heat. I'm going to let it come to a rolling boil for about 3 minutes. Then I'm going to set it aside. That's going to be our basting sauce. We'll let it cool as we move on to the next step. We'll see you then. All right, the marinade is done boiling. I have that set aside. Now let's put together our tzatziki sauce, our grilled olive tzatziki sauce, with the exception of the grilled olives, because I don't even have the grill lit yet, and that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take about 5 cloves worth of minced garlic, chuck it in my awesome Mexican lava bowl. Okay, maybe that's okay. We like garlic. I'm going to grind that into a paste. Oh, yes, I am. I like the pastiness of that. That goes into a bowl, along with about 3 tablespoons of finely diced fresh mint, 1.5 teaspoons of coarse kosher salt, about 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. I don't know how many lemons it's going to take, so I'm going to eyeball it. Okay, I think it's going to take about 1. To that, we're going to add 3 cups of plain Greek yogurt. And the final ingredient is a couple of diced up cucumbers, or as the director calls them, yucky green water sticks. She won't be the judge tonight. Okay, you can go back away.
There's mint and there's sticks.
So I'm going to get these diced up. I'm going to mix them in with the rest of our ingredients. And then the next step is grilling the olives. We'll see you out at the grill. All right, it's a balmy 107 degrees here in the Valley of the Sun. We'll see how long the camera takes or lasts. What I need to do is get my olives on. So I'm going to just get them charred about 2 minutes per side. So we'll get them on, 2 minutes, flip them, and then 2 minutes later, take them back inside to get them chopped up and added to the tzatziki. All right, as those olives are going, we'll get our beef kebab started on the other side. I've taken the grates out because I know my skewers are long enough. And we'll start getting those cooked. So we're going to cook those about 3 minutes per side and then flip them. So 12 minutes total. After the second flip, I'm going to have cooked meat sticking up, and then I can start basting it with our delicious marinade that we thickened up. 2 minutes on the olives. Turn them 180. All right, so that's what we're doing out here. We'll see you back inside. Charlotte's going to take those olives, dice them up, chuck them in the tzatziki, and then we'll be ready for testing. We'll see you in there. All right, we're in from the grill. We got the olives diced up and then tzatziki. Now it's time for the judgment of Charlotte.
I'm going to try a little bit without anything first.
Okay.
Because this is what, the meat that's been marinating in the wine and stuff?
Yes.
Oh, that's tasty. That's tasty all by itself.
Ah. Now we'll see if the grilled olives, you know how long it takes to skewer 96 olives?
Freaking long time.
That's true. That's true.
That.
Longer than I planned for.
Oh, that balances really well. Yeah.
I bet the director won't think so, but that's okay. Hey, you can have this with tzatziki sauce, without. But hey, if you want a hit, go with this. Hey, thank you so much for joining us today. Until we see you next time, fair winds and following seas.